Boy, what's going on, peeps? I thought I'd tap in real quick, make me a quick video. I have a lot on my mind lately, That's why I hadn't dropped videos back to back in the past week. I might have dropped a few here and there, but just to kind of keep things alive and keep you something to kind of, tap into, listen to. I'm actually working on something big concerning my upcoming hearing that I have on the 7th of next month. But I also just got through it too long. I had to put my mom away. She passed away on the 15th. She was pronounced anyway. She had passed away pretty much days before that. But so I kind of dealing with that, and then trying to keep my family together, when you got the matriarch of your family that, the one that actually everybody's, that keeps the family together. When they leave, it's like, I think I have to take responsibility to try to make sure everybody's okay. That's just me. Try to hold it together, keep the family together, check on everybody, make sure everybody stay, united, continue to love on each other like we've been doing. So, and not, get to a point where we just kind of scattered. Sometimes people get to doing their own thing once the matriarch passes. And I guess if I continue to be saying good morning, if at some point I'll be a matriarch. But till then, I just keep on, keep doing what I'm supposed to do and keep thriving. And I'm still studying constantly too. I'm looking into things like, things that operate on the equity side. I think I told y'all that in my previous videos. Operating in equity as a living man in a court case. You can't do that on the public side, the at-law side. You can't do that. I mean, you could operate, using your power of attorney, but you're still using a commercial hat, so to speak, a title, so to speak. Even though, what I mean by title, an attorney, in fact, is a title, okay? Because if you're using the power of attorney, you are the attorney, in fact, over your estate. I was just talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to Oshun Freeman. We've been talking for the last couple of days, actually talking about a lot of stuff concerning equity, and we're looking into it. We're doing a whole lot of, having a lot of discussions about stuff like this. And so some stuff I'm really kind of hesitant to say a lot because I don't want to put everything on the public forum. But equity is one powerful route to go. When you're able to operate on the equity side, the side of equity, dealing with living men and women, and actually take control of your case a hell of a lot easier than from the at-law side if you know what you're doing. But I'm in the beginning stages because it's my first rodeo show when it comes to the equity side, doing what I'm doing. I think y'all remember me talking about an undertaking in my last video. I didn't talk about it much, but that's a term you might want to look up. It's a term you might want to look up. In simple, by definition, it is literally a bail bond. So you might want to look it up. So, and you can actually exercise your right to subrogation by, when you're using one. You can actually use one like that as well. So, but I'm exercising it for the first time. It's my first time. I'm kind of new at it. I understand it, but I could talk better when I actually do it and get the results. Then just like I speak with confidence about child support because I beat it already. And I understand it a hell of a lot, even easier, a hell of a lot easier than I did back when I beat it. Because I was thinking that the trade name registration is what beat it, is what shut it down. But really, it's just because I kept bucking. I continued, I stood on it. I would not stop. And now that I'm more seasoned and I understand this stuff I understand the process a hell of a lot easier, better, much clearer than I did back then. You know, it's really all about you controlling your estate. Making sure, personal jurisdiction is but y'all, a lot of times we get in our, as beginners, when we go up in these courtrooms, we're hearing on the internet. First, we start off detoxing from the things we were taught growing up. We come online and we hear these so-called gurus, teaching different stuff. And, we've been on here 10, 15, 20 years. Been doing it forever. And they've been making it's a big market for people that's going on here teaching this stuff. And they're just, kind of making up shit as they go, and they're making money while even they're growing. But it's big market in these situations when they're not, it's big market on the internet. It says a big market. Plenty money to be made like that. But we're taught by these so-called gurus. When you first come into this stuff, first thing you're taught is to authenticate your birth certificate. Put an affidavit on it, record it in the county recorder's office, and these stuff like that. Get you a trust, and you name the property in the Schedule A of the trust, and now that's how you transfer it. Like, a lot of this stuff don't add up, but we do it because we think these people know what they're talking about, because that's what we were taught. And the more you study, the more you actually you advance in your understanding. You start realizing a lot of the stuff that we're taught to do, shit was unnecessary, and it was really not good advice. Another example, like UCC. You tell somebody tell them, you got to file a UCC, and you as the living man, you make yourself the secure party on the bottom part that says secure party. You put your name in upper lowercase, put the colon, use the semicolon or the colon, however they say that you do it. And that's how you make yourself as a living man take ownership or control over the straw man, make the straw man the debtor. The straw man name is in all caps. Totally disregarding the fact that it's called a uniform commercial code. And we know that living men and women don't exist in the commercial world. So where we get off putting upper lowercase name on there, thinking that you as a living man just took control of a straw man. But this is what we're taught in the beginning. We're taught all these different things. Like, say you don't own their estate. They own it. You can't own it. You can only control it. How's that? When that's the case, there's no such thing as a power of attorney. How do you control your estate when you can shut down their control with a power of attorney? Where do we get these and see that I was in a debate with a buddy of mine about that particular topic too. Because he was using the maxim of law that says, one, creates, one controls. And they were thinking that these people control the estate because they created it. Like, no, they created a record. A record of an event. That's what they did. They didn't create your estate. Everything that you accumulate throughout your lifetime, thing that belongs to you is your estate. Whether personal or real. That stuff that belongs to you is your estate. They didn't create your estate. They created a record of an event. And they named that thing after the name your father and mother gave you, but they don't own your estate. If they owned your estate, you would never be able to revoke their power with a power of attorney. Because they own it, right? As we continue studying this stuff, we kind of questioning where we getting these ideas from. Where we getting these things from. When we hearing this stuff, we hearing people saying certain stuff, and it causes more confusion than it does create solutions. You know, so we find ourselves detoxing all over again from the internet. Next year, make 10 years I've been actually studying about law, all this legal stuff, you know. And I believe my understanding would be much sharper than it is now, had I not gone through another level of detoxification from the internet. Because a lot of stuff we hear on the internet, you know, like I remember one time I was in a conference call, and it's a group called 100 Kings, you know, that was started back in 2020, January of 2020. And I was a part of a call. And I used to come in on the phone call and, you know, without announcing myself, I sit there and listen first, just listen to them talk. Because out of respect for the host, I'll make sure I'm not trying to, you know, bully the conversation or try to sound like some top dog in the group. I was really there to kind of help out, because the group consists of a bunch of guys that are all on child support, and they trying to beat child support, trying to get off child support. So I'm just trying to, you know, see what kind of service I could actually offer to this group. I wasn't trying to be a part of it, but I didn't have a problem being a part of the, you know, the conversations. I come in there and I hear the host in there saying, you know, these when you're getting those entities, those EIN numbers, and at the end of the, you know, you're putting in the information to get an EIN number online, and right before when they issue you the EIN number, they give you an option to print it out. You print it out and you just look at the upper right hand side of that document, and you see a bunch of 9s lined up beside each other. And the host was telling these people that those 9s mean that you're on the land now, you're alive. It means that you're alive. And I'm like, Emrose, checking in, you know, basically that's when I kind of let announce myself on the call. I'm like, where you get that from? Where you find that from? You know, she showed me in the IRS manual. I want to try to validate what you said right there, because I never heard that before. I knew he was lying when he said it. I just wanted to ask that question so that people would get the wheels to turning for the people who are listening on the call. So you understand, you know, this is basically, I try to get people to hold people accountable when they're trying to teach you something. Where do you get that from? And he couldn't show me where he got it from. I'm like, that's not what that means. It has nothing to do with nothing. Where you get that from? Only the people that work there who created this document can tell you what them 9 stand for. You can't just make up stuff. You can't just make up stuff, because these people's freedom, they're fighting for their freedom, and here you are making up stuff. And you sounding like you know what you're talking about, because you're using so much charisma and so much conviction in your speech. And you making these people really think that you're on the land now. That means they show that you are alive. You know, you're talking about the sets of KV and you're not acting as a fiction. The IRS only deals with entities. They don't deal with living men and women on paperwork, that is. They deal with entities, and they'll assign the numbers to the entities. Where'd you get that from? I need to have a video, like a t-shirt, man, you know. To the gurus. Where'd you get that from? Anyway, I'm like, we need to, we go through we constantly detoxing because of the stuff that we're being taught on the internet. Just like I showed y'all about the Minnesota rule 220, you never see authenticate nowhere written in there. You don't see it written nowhere on there. And you don't live in Minnesota. So why the hell are we even doing that? Who made that up? Who made it up? and got us following that shit. We spent countless dollars authenticating these documents because we think we suppose that's part of status correction. And now nearly 10 years later, I learned it's so damn simple. It's all about administering your trust. They're administering your estate, not your trust, your estate. This is administering your estate. The same estate that was created when you were born, in which your mother gave them power of attorney with their prenatal forms, the prenatal consent forms. They may not be called prenatal consent forms, but they're forms that your mother filled out. Every woman that's watching this video knows they did that. They can tell you they did that. They filled out forms with the physician that they chose, gave them power of attorney. And even the state statutes say that the words power of attorney may not even be used. May or may not even be used in order for them to be, to be operating under power of attorney. And what makes it so, how you doing, man? So the thing is, so when you're going up in a courtroom, you got open court. You're going up in there. And we're told from the start, the beginners now, we're taught. You got to go challenge jurisdiction. First thing you want to do is challenge jurisdiction. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by challenge jurisdiction? Most people don't even know what the hell jurisdiction means. They say challenge jurisdiction. What do you mean? Only for the record, I'm here to challenge jurisdiction. You got to prove only for the record that you have jurisdiction. They don't say subject matter or personal. They just say I'm here to challenge jurisdiction, which means they're not even sure about what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating what they heard on the internet. And the more you study and the more you kind of get out of the habit of being lazy and not wanting to respond, not wanting to regurgitate what you're hearing on the internet, you'll realize it's really as simple as challenging personal jurisdiction. Because jurisdiction is the jurisdiction that you're talking about is their authority to administer authority over that person, which is your estate. That name in all caps, that's the name of your estate. That's what your estate is named. Because everything that you bought, your cars, your houses, if you bought it, you got a book, you created a book, you got an invention, you got music, you got anything intellectual, whether it's tangible or intangible, things that belong to you is your property. Any property that belongs to you is in the name of your estate. That is your property, that's your estate. It is total. That's the definition of an estate. The total property of an individual before distribution. Everything that you ever own, that's all they're doing is administering that. And they're only able to administer your estate if you're presumed missing, deceased, incompetent, or just basically saying incapacitated. Some states use those different terms. Bottom line is, if you don't file an objection into a court case, you're missing. You walk in there and you don't know what you're talking about. You're deemed incompetent, which is equivalent to, by definition, it fits the definition of incapacitation. Incompetent. That's the same way you were when you came out of your mother's womb. That goes back to your mother's consent. They're operating under power of attorney because you don't know how to handle it yourself. And that's how you were when you came out your mother's womb, and that's how you were when you stood before the judge. Incapacitated. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You up there just regurgitating some shit on the internet. And they can tell. Because you don't know that all they're doing is administering your estate. If you give me power of attorney to administer, to do something on your behalf. Say to go to court for you. You can give me power of attorney to go to you to show up in court on your behalf. You really can. You can give somebody power of attorney to do that. But the power of attorney has to state that in there. You give me authority to actually to handle your legal matters for you. That's the same thing you do when you hire an attorney. You want somebody to handle something for you. They're dealing with your property. Your rights are also your property. It don't have to be something that has a deed attached to it. Your rights are your property. It's yours. Something that you have the right to. Your body don't have a deed to it. Is that not your property too? So, it's yours. Something that belongs to you. But it comes down to something so simple, but you won't know that if you're just listening to the internet. You just on the internet. Just on the internet. You just listen to videos. Constantly just listen to videos. You don't pause no video. You don't look up nothing somebody said. If you really study, you wouldn't even pause this video just to validate what I said. Shouldn't be just listening to shit. And don't pause no videos. Don't let something go over your head you hear on the video and you don't pause to look it up. You got to be willing to look words up so you can get a clear understanding of what somebody's saying. I got into a debate. It was a debate. I called it a... I was in a debate yesterday about, the term infant. What was that? The IRS website? It was talking about an infant is a decedent of an estate. I'm like, that's not what the definition of an infant is. Somebody took that code and just ran with it, and then they used that and say that's what the definition is based on the IRS code. And if you go look at it, it's not talking about. It wasn't defining the term infant. That's not what an infant is. And they were using it to push a narrative. And I'm like, you can't use that shit wrong, incorrectly, and try to use it in something else you teaching. And I've heard many people use that. Quite a few, not a lot. But I heard quite a few people use that same part, that same code in the IRS code and say that that's what an infant is. It's a decedent of an estate. Say, no, that's not what that said. So you got to be willing to look stuff up and read the whole thing so you'll understand what it is saying. And if it's not saying what you saying, what you be willing to shut that shit down. Don't sit there and keep on reading that shit when you know that there's some inconsistencies and it's already starting off on some bullshit. We'll read some website. She likes the website. You study what you do. She's very smart, so she ain't no dummy about the stuff, but we just disagreed on that particular shit there. You got one of them websites that be read where the words are written in red and blue letters. It's a .com website somebody put together. And then you read it as if it's some government website, something with some law website, some, law dictionary type website, a jurisprudence type book. And it's not that. It's something somebody wrote up that they just created a website about it. Just because it's a website don't make it valid. So it's easy for me to hit the X and close that shit out because I'm not going to keep reading that shit when I see that certain part right there. You just say it. You're using your opinion. The whole thing from the start when we was reading this shit was all opinionated. I ain't going to say some of that wasn't accurate. But if I see that you're using sources like a valid source, which is the IRS website is a valid source, but you're pushing a negative, you're using a narrative, you're creating a conclusion that doesn't fit what that source was saying. So I was able to dismiss it. And that's what I did. It caused a kind of debate when we talk about it. So you gotta be willing to look stuff up, y'all. You just don't want to look up nothing. You probably just need to just bend over. You probably just need to bend over. Somebody got with me today and they asked me if I was willing to help somebody out they want to send to me. Asked me how much would I charge them to help them out. I'm like, because I haven't charged nobody to help them out. I just haven't. But I know I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to because this is going to be what I do. Like just what I do. But when I'm doing something, I'm spending my time showing you what your laws say, the law say in your state, and you just refuse to just do it. You refuse to apply it. And you want me to type something up for you? You want me to do that? I'm going to charge your ass, because if you don't file that shit, you don't use it, then at least I didn't waste my time. You know, I have people contacting me that I talked to 2 and 3 years ago. Still never moved on that, because him and baby mama made up at that time, so they stopped studying. Now she tripping again. Now you contacting me. Like, man, please. I'm not finna do shit for free. I don't like doing that shit, because I don't like if I give it to you and I spend countless hours on the phone talking to you, 2 or 3 hours out of my day, show you what your state statutes say, make sure you understand, and then you don't apply, you wasted my time. And ain't nothing more liberating to me is for, than when someone contact me and they got some remedy from something I showed them, whether it's on a video or from a conversation that we had on the phone. But it feels good when I know that I helped somebody get free. But I don't like doing that shit, but doing this shit and then people just kind of take advantage of my availability because I don't charge them nothing. So they call me anytime they feel like calling me. And then I'm 100% available, and then they don't do shit that I'm trying to show them. Because they want to sit here and keep on talking about some other shit. But they trying some other shit that they can't even prove. They don't see no kind of credible, no sources in these people that they following. Every time it seems like every few months we get a new name on the internet. It's a new name on the internet. Everybody start talking about that person. So everybody start doing, searches for them, and they go to gravitating to their platform, their Facebook group, their YouTube channel or whatever, and everybody go to run into them thinking they know some shit that they instead of just looking for the shit, looking for the information. You can use keywords to find an information. It's already out here. But I'm just kind of ranting now, so I think I kind of made my point for this particular video. But we find ourselves just detoxing multiple times because you find yourself doing stuff that you really think you need to do. Never needed to, I look in hindsight, I'm like, I never needed to authenticate a birth certificate. Never needed to do that. None of us ever needed to do that. Unless you're going to use a birth certificate in another country, unless you're going to actually use it there. I got a video on that. Go back and look at it. I showed you what they said. I showed you. It's in the video back there. Back in the history. Recent history. Maybe about a week ago. Maybe about 2 weeks ago. And, you didn't have to authenticate no birth certificate to get control of your estate. Take control of it and all this other different stuff that we were taught we had to do. You don't live in Minnesota any damn way. If you don't live in Minnesota, why are you doing that shit? That goes for the assumed name certificate too. You don't live there. Your state have their own process of what you need to be doing. You really don't have to do that to get control of your state. All you gotta do is revoke anybody's power of attorney that's using it, that's administering it. I get a court case from now on, I'm sending out powers of attorney. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm sending out a power of attorney to revoke anybody. What's the name of that judge on that case? Okay, I read it in the summons. This the judge, okay, this the county clerk, okay, this the opposing party. All these state entities right here. Serve them a new power of attorney that specifically states that all previous powers of attorney are revoked. And I'm naming them in the power of attorney and they're going to get served. Bottom line. And then here in Georgia, you got to record the proof with the power of attorney. The proof that you served them. That's personal jurisdiction right there, off the rip. You just took personal jurisdiction. They don't have personal jurisdiction. They can't administer your estate. That damn simple. Something so damn simple. They're not going to tell you that. You going there talking about I'm challenging personal jurisdiction? That's what I love about how David did it. My buddy David. Shout out to David. Like he wanted now. He said he wanted an affidavit from the judge. He told him, I want an affidavit from you proving that, showing that I actually specifically gave you jurisdiction. I gave you authority to administer my estate. That I gave you power of attorney to act as attorney in fact to administer my estate. Shut the case down. Shut the case down. And they had took his child from him. Gave his child back. Head out of his mouth. He left the court and went straight to the daycare and got his child. No problem. He was so damn happy. All because of the power of attorney. Something so damn simple. We'll never know that this is something so damn simple. Taking your estate, taking control of your estate. You ain't got to do none of that authenticating birth certificates, status correction, put in a, corporate denial application, live life claim. You ain't got to claim you're alive, motherfucker. What the fuck you going to claim you're alive for? What purpose is that? You going to make an affidavit that claims you're alive. No, he lying. I'm swearing on the penalty of perjury that I'm alive. That's what a live life claim is supposed to do. You claiming you're alive. That ain't the stupidest shit ever. I never did one of those. But I used to hear about it all the time. That shit never made sense to me. How you gonna swear on the penalty of perjury that you're alive? Like, how can you possibly be? Is there a penalty of perjury if I'm alive? Can I really be punished? Can I perjure myself with that one? The type of shit that we listen to it. When it has a catchy phrase to it, we go buy right into it. We go buy right into it. How you do a live life claim? Yeah, claiming on the record that you're alive. That ain't got nothing to do with that power of attorney that your mama gave them. Corporate denial. Ain't nobody operating as no corporation. I used to say that shit too. In the beginning. Say you operating as a corporation. No, you're not. Or they think you dead. You going in there, they actually you operating as if you dead. And I'm like, that never made sense either. I'm like, how the fuck do you think I'm dead and I'm standing in front of you? How? How does that even make sense? My language changed as I started to understand what they're really doing. All they're doing is they're treating you like you're incompetent. Yes, they know this is your estate. They know you ain't dead. You just ain't you ain't got nothing on the record that gave you control over your estate. And you're giving consent because you didn't file no objection into the court case. So that's acquiescence. So you basically giving them authority to do things on your behalf. Now, don't get me wrong, they still operating in fraud because they don't give full disclosure of what they're doing. How the hell you get authority to administer my estate? How you get to railroad me and bully me into a contract? They still operating in fraud because that's called theft by deception. You might want to look that up. Theft by deception. Also called swindle, misrepresentation, misconduct. Look all those words up. It's the shit they're doing to you in the courtroom. You get power of attorney from my mother. You know I don't know that's how you got authority in the first place. You playing that game. You know what it is. But I don't know, so you act like you know that you automatically got it just because you the judge. You just pretending like you got it automatically. That's theft by deception. Theft by deception. Look up theft by deception in your Google search. You'll find it. Any kind of way they use deception in order to take something from you that's rightfully yours. They know that's your they know that's your estate. Even if you have power of attorney, you still don't get to railroad no damn body and bully them into no contract that they don't want to be in. And then it goes against the Constitution for people on child support. Because we got equal protection under the laws. You're supposed to have that. The Constitution protects that. You don't get that in court. Not when it comes to family court. You're supposed to be, equal protection is 50-50 custody, 50-50 legal custody. That's equal protection. That's for the mother, the father, and the child. Because the child gets equal access to both parents. Okay? That's equal protection under the laws. You're not supposed to be getting incarcerated for that. That goes against the Constitution. But if your status ain't proper, your status ain't proper. You ain't expressing the trust no type of way. What I mean by express the trust, because we've been hearing a lot about the express the trust, but we don't know what the fuck they mean by express the trust. Let me get back on the Constitution first. Then I'm gonna get to express the trust, and I'm gonna shut this video down. But these are different things they're doing. You have the right to, life, liberty, and and property. You know, not to be having nothing taken from you without due process of law, all that different stuff. I'm paraphrasing, but this is all protected by the Constitution. You have a right to that. As a man, as a woman. But you don't express the trust that being your estate. You operating as the attorney in fact for your estate on behalf of your estate. Now you're changing, you shifting the control, and you're expressing the trust because you're rebutting the presumption that they're operating in. They're operating under presumptions in these courtrooms, as you're incompetent, and you're gonna foot the bill, you're gonna take the blame, you're gonna operate as someone that don't know what they're doing anyway, and they're the one that's in charge. They're acting like they're taking the parental control, acting that way anyway. But you have not expressed anything. When you express your rightful position in this transaction, that's expressing the trust. Your rightful position. Your rightful position is your estate written on that docket. That is your estate. You are operating as the attorney in fact, to control that estate. And they are trustees, or they have a fiduciary duty as a trustee to operate on your behalf. You know what I'm saying? To operate on your behalf. You the grantor in that place. That's your estate. Okay, so they have to operate. Of course, you also end up being a beneficiary, yourself, but you're not, you get what I'm talking about. The estate is actually the beneficiary, but you know what I'm talking about. But you're the one that's the attorney in fact for your estate. Because everything belongs to you. The stuff, it belongs to you. You're supposed to be controlling it, not them controlling it. They're making you foot the bill because you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, they're going to railroad you. But I'm going to get on off of here because I've been talking long enough. And I've been kind of debating on going in here and getting me a stiff drink. But I got some stuff I want to do tonight. I don't feel like hitting the gym today. I wanted to hit the gym, but I thought about hitting the gym, but I don't want to hit the gym today. I don't feel like fucking lifting no damn weights today. I don't feel like doing shit. I want to relax my mind. Get into some studies or something like that. That's what I'll do. I might still get me a drink. I don't know. Hopefully I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay easy. Make sure you look shit up. Study it. Hold people accountable that you're listening to. Make them show you some valid proof. And don't let them railroad you with information that they can't prove. Look this stuff up. Look in your state statutes about a power of attorney and see. You see what I'm talking about. Look in my previous videos. I show y'all everything. Anytime y'all see me on videos like this and I'm not showing y'all no sources, it's because I made videos about them already. So you can go back in my archives and you can see my videos. I damn near name my videos what I'm talking about. So you can go back and look at those videos. In those videos, I go in details showing sources about from where I'm getting what I'm talking about. And that's what y'all should be doing with everybody y'all listen to. Make sure they're showing y'all some sources. Not sitting here trying to give you some damn lecture with no sources to go and study. They want to sound smart. They be the main ones telling you to hit the link in the bio. And y'all buying shit from them and they ain't proving nothing to you. Y'all.